My name is Kawall and I'm from Canal No.2 Polder, a former student of Kawall Primary School and also a former teacher of Kawall Primary. Over the years I've been very interested in the school's progress, and on the 5th of May 2020 this school is going to finish 100 years. It's very unfortunate that there will be no celebration because of the COVID-19. All schools are on lockdown throughout the world, and this is also true for Kawall Primary School in Canal No.2 Polder. So those celebrations were supposed to take place there this year. Cannot happen. Now, I'm trying to make this little video to give you a little synopsis of what happened in the school over the past 100 years. Now, this school was first started out at 21 North Section, and the first name was Canal No.2 Polder Canadian Mission School. Now, it started out in 1920 on the 5th of May, and it had a total student population in Central. It was started by J.B. Cropper, Reverend, and the headmaster at that time was George Kidd. So that was the start of the school. And right now, after 100 years, we have Komisha Corey, who is originally from Stanley Town, and she was appointed here on 01/02/2017. So at the brink of the 100 years, she is a headmistress. Now this video is going to deal into some of the way the school is operating at the moment. Now, unfortunately for the school, it has lost its population in the village, and the last time I was there in December 2019, the total enrollment was perfect, because it just caters for elementary school now. Not
set a very high standard in education, you know. People like you make it like, I don't know what's going on here now, you know.
So at the grade 1, which we call Prep A, Kawall Primary, we have the literacy program and the numeracy program. The literacy program focuses on language arts, and it's condensed in a sense that no subject such as grammar or composition is taught in isolation. So we have a manual which we call literacy standards and benchmark that's guiding us along. So for a literacy hour lesson, it's 1 hour. We do 15 minutes of phonemic awareness where you have them stress on the sounds or shout, right? Then you go to the phonics. The phonics is where you relate the sounds to words or pictures. So they see shape.
Okay. They just try to incorporate it.
So from the sounds, they identify the shape or shout. Then from phonemic awareness, we move to grammar, vocabulary, where we allow the child to explore the meaning of the word or have them syllabricate the word. Shopping, and we will identify the word parts, because there are some words like spherical. I'm just using what comes to mind. And you have the child, what do we mean when we say spherical? To explain, and then you have the child identify that word, relate that word to the classroom environment or something that relates to that.
Whatever you remember. That was a very high standard of education.
Yeah,
yeah.
James always talk good about Kawall.
And also you got good students.
Right, that's true, that's true.
Students who want to study.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Got good children. They put themselves for very high standard of education. It came from the teacher. They had respect for the teacher and they live.
Vocabulary, you can move right into comprehension, where you have the children read, and reading now is done. Guided reading, we have guided reading, where it's done in small groups, and the teacher is moving around to every group. We have read aloud, and many times read aloud is either the teacher model, we have model reading, or a child who's an independent reader can read by himself, reads the story aloud. We have shared reading, where the teacher turned the page and the children and the teacher look, a little red hen and the 3 little pigs on you. We have readers, we call them, readers for all levels.
Yeah, what you remember of Kawall School?
Kawall School?
One thing.
This lady down here, she was named Margaret. And she used to beat up in Bloodwood. But Kawall School, that's a school who teaches and who makes us somebody today. They bring out very good kids. I know them from there too.
So we start them off with the funny, make awareness, and book friends, Matt, Mitt, and they're all animal characters that make book friends. So the children now do all the language areas into what we call literacy components.
Okay.
So within an hour, you can touch at least 3 components. After comprehension, where you ask them questions and they respond to you, we have a 2-week cycle. 1 week, you just have oral work, and the next week is where you bring them into expression. So that's where composition comes in, where we use to write stories and write independently.
All the best and beautiful kids from No.2 Canal, and it's a very recognized school. I go to that school, my children then went to that school, and my grandkids, I think would have been go, but unfortunate, we have to leave and come. But these sure, if we were living in Guyana, sure, I would choose that school for them because it brings out good kids, very good kids.
It is advised that our children today, we do not allow them to write about the dog today, and tomorrow write about the cat. You find that our writing is not consistent. So with this program, it's helping the child. 1 week you're going to have them doing oral work, and the next week you fall in with the writing side. So that's the numeracy happening.
I agree with my sister. I went to the school, my siblings went to the school, my kids went to the school.
What year you start school? Can you remember?
I started school in I even can't remember.
Probably like about 5 years old, right?
I was 4 years old and now I'm 46 years old.
So that's like 40 something.
41 years I went to Kawall School.
And you went through the big door. Your class went through the whole building. Was your class went?
Yes.
The first doorway you entered was that door?
And I also went in the tent. They had a tent there. Teacher Ganesh had to go in the tent to do home economics. When I went to that school, Makaking was teaching there.
Okay.
I just want to move all the way up to the top of the What is the main plan? Like, you need results here. So how do you guys tackle that to get results?
Good. So going back to the bottom, we have the numeracy, which is emphasis on mathematics. One of the things that has been absent in schools is manipulatives. We use chalk and talk very often, which is not advised. Back in the days, you had matchsticks, corks, counters,
Concrete materials.
concrete materials, you know it. And so Teachers have moved away from that because they feel it's too hard to get the children to use these materials. They're not paying attention. They want to play. That is one of the things that we have to put back in place. So we have something called math camp to help the grade 6. The math camp is organized in such a way where you let the children learn through play. And now we have internet access. It's much easier because you go on Numeracy, you go mathematics, and you see how play
You learn through that.
has contributed significantly. Our last grade 6 class started like this. Our percentage is starting slightly. We're doing well in the language, on the mathematics, problem solving. So to address that, we're going back to the shop corners, where you send the children to buy and sell, and then you have a discount on television, and how you reduce and these kind of things. More practical work has to be done to address mathematics.
And I was there from like the first set of people there. I was the last set of people to go. It was the second home until I was age 10. And then in '86, I happened to become a teacher there, which was the best 3 years of my life and the best career move I made.
So a student become a teacher.
Yeah, it was fun.
How long you teach?
I taught for 3 years before I migrated.
Okay. Once again.
Those competition was like once in a year. I look forward to pick up the flags after the game. you know they used to put like the flags for the markers.
Yeah.
And it was like a prize collection just to go around the field and pick up the flags at the end of the day. So that stand out.
So it was a real big event.
Oh, it was a huge event. Listen, we're from the bush practically, so it was something you look forward to every year.
Since then he had so high. Well, in those days, the masters used to only spend 5 years in school. And they are transferred. And this one became well that when Sahai was teaching here, and his 5 year up, they was transferred to #1 Canal. And then Guru came here. And Guru worked with after he worked a lot more than 5 years. So everything changed at that time.
They could spend more long
It's
time.
been a long time. So it was Canadian Mission School in Kawall.
So they had 2 schools.
Yeah, this one here right back where Foots live.
Yeah.
We had them on there. Yeah,
Was it a big school?
No, a small school. The mission, had one from Kawall. And after that, then they went to this one Perpetua Kawall Canadian Mission School. Daddy won't be into. One time they tried to appoint only Christian to this school because it was Canadian Mission School. But when I got through, because I was so lucky that Google helped me to go through.
To get in.
And I never,
What year you started? Remember?
1959.
Wow. You're a little bit. You're just like
Yes.
2-year-old.
Canadian Mission, Canadian Mission spread their wings all over. And then that did Canadian Mission, this Perpetua Kawall, that Kawall people had the land. And they who donated that land. And the Perpetua Kawall, that is my wife. Perpetua Kawall Canadian Mission School. Perpetua Kawall Memorial Canadian Mission School.
So you're gonna go to that same school. So how much building you had then?
They had one building, the old building this side.
And the LPs was there too?
No. Later on the LPs had finished. You had just a one building, you had all Perpetua, right through.
Yeah, right.
Right through from Perpetua going back to 6th standard. Yes, one day. Well, I was teaching then. I can remember the work and like I said, is like we had the contractors then. So the teachers they had to go, Saturday and Sunday and help. And we get on hamper like.
Oh.
They get on hamper. Cheese and butter. And
So who been around like the church?
we had what is my name? Budu.
Oh,
Yeah,
Guru.
Master Budu, yes. during his tenure, then
They
we built that.
build a L section.
And then you can't tell what year, then after it became congested, then around moving to the
Yeah, double shift. When we been go school, we not double shift, you know.
Well, then I'm extending on to go.
So like when we been going, you been been still the Kawall. That's in 1985. You been still the Kawall. In fact, when you give up the commentaries class, I take it over.
Yeah, that's right.
I take it over.
And then we take on primary 3 and you in primary 4.
Yeah.
After they put me in primary 3 and you in primary 4. Then we started seeing the results. I was a very good teacher because very good. And then you had me back up on primary 3.
Yeah, you need a good primary teacher.
Yeah, I get because and then primary 4, and then we start to get results.
Yeah, I was actually surprised when we seen it first year result.
Yeah.
Like
So
only one body failed, you know, like we want to even then I say, why you doing that thing? Then me say, me no know why.
Here you go, one of the best cricketers from Kawall. I go play bumper now, man. I go play the bumper now. Go play there. What am I going to play the bumper now? Yeah, you know, they say I go play 5 over. The good thing about Kawall School back in the days is the cricket that they had. It is something that died in Guyana, and not only for Kawall, but it is something that they should bring back in the entire Guyana. Into school and school cricket. Only young players. That's the one thing what you remember about Kawall?
What I remember, a lot of things. That's where I started.
Like one thing on top of your mind.
One thing on top of my mind, that's what I would always remember. Never forget.
Okay, and you?
I remember the good teacher. Very nice teacher.
Okay. And you think Kawall did a good job with you?
Yes, excellent. Both of us. Yeah.
Okay, so here you have it. Here you have it. The teachers get the credit.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
You're one of them.
Huh?
You are one of them.
All right.
How was the results the last time? Good?
Yes, our overall national grade 6 results was 70-something%. I can't remember the figure.
You guys get a lot of top
And
schools?
yes, we were able to make it to Bishops, Saints, and quite a few to West Memorial Secondary. We only had 3, I think, to Endeavour,
Okay.
6 years. We had 1 to Laventure, and quite a few to Potential.
Okay.
Right? So it was actually the maximum score for mathematics was 133. We had children scoring as much as 131.
Oh, that's good. That's excellent.
We failed to get QC by 3 marks.
Oh, okay.
So here we are faced with the same situation at this present grade 6, and we realize that mathematics is a problem. And from what the results would have shown for last week's mock examination, children are not allowed to reason. You see, back in the days you had reasoning, general reasoning at school. It's not happening now. Everything is given to you.
Oh, okay.
So, mathematics is one of the areas that we plan to address with those things that I mentioned. Along with that, we did something new this term. This term, I said to them, we're going to divide the staff into test teams. You are place a leader of each team. The teacher who is good at mathematics, you will head the team. And the team is responsible for vetting the questions according to the standards. We had very
Yeah, you
good
gotta raise the
results.
standards.
We had to do that. You know, it was a challenge, but we did it.
Let me just ask you, like when I used to teach common entrance, I used to like get all these kids and give them half-hour extra lesson every morning on my.
If that's happening.
Yeah, anybody giving extra lessons.
We call it remediation. Yes, we have the remediation program going in the mornings. We work from 8:30 to 9. At the lunch hour, that was the parents' decision to take an extra half an hour. So the children reassemble at 12 to 12:30. And then in the afternoon, we have 3 to 3:30. At different levels, it varies.
So you do give some extra lessons?
Yes. So grade 1 and 2, because they're going at 11:30, they take the half an hour to 12. Right? And then they take the half an hour from 2:30 to 3. But for grade 6, we work the entire hour in the afternoon.
Okay. And another thing is, do you know if anybody is like giving lessons for common entrance around here?
Yes, we had one of our very own teachers. She delivered a baby, and so that's why she's not giving. And she's an AM, she's a SLD. That's the young lady who was a CPC valedictorian.
She's teaching here?
Yes, but she's on maternity
Okay.
as we speak. And so she would usually give lessons at her place if the children needs it. Right? It's not compulsory. Apart from that, we don't really have any other teacher giving lessons on the outside.
Now, unfortunately for the school, it has lost its population in the village, and the last time I was there in December 2019, the total enrollment was 152, because it just caters for elementary school now, not the secondary department. The secondary department has to go to Endeavor and other high schools based on their examinations on the SSE. Now, once the school was started in 1920, there was room for improvements, like for the population growth. They wanted a better school, so they started to build another school at 21 South Section. That's the current location. And on September 18, 1940, they moved into this new school, which is one building. And the first class was held there on the 19th of September 1940. Now from that time, the school saw some changes over the years. From that one building, there was a right wing extension on the back, on the right side. If you go towards the south, and it assumed the shape of an L-shaped building. Now the southern wing was started in 1954. Now once that happened, it did finish, but I don't know when it finished, probably in the 1960s. But it's always self-help. And after that, the population grew and you had a more demand for more space. So then the eastern wing was built, also from self-help and contributions from parents in the community and also from the government. Now the first class, Form 3, was held on April 14, 1969. In the population growth, school was overcrowded, and they set up a double shift system in October 21, 1963. And that ended on June 5, 1969, when that eastern wing extension was completed. Now all this time, over most of these years, the school has been growing and growing. But then it was upgraded again in the, I think, like 2000s into the school it is right now. The old building was knocked down, and then you have a brand new building in place right now. They kept that eastern wing and just took down the old building and added another part of that. Now we also had like in the back of the school what you call an outhouse where the tent was. And the first built in April 1951. The outhouse was built in 1951. It had thatched leaves, most likely grass. But then it was rebuilt in the 70s into a clay brick structure and zinc roof. Now that building housed at its first, it housed mat making and hammock making skills in there. Buying the skills for. If I ask you when is the first time you had electricity in the school? Well, the first electricity was installed there and connected October 10, 1968. And in 1974, they did install a public address system in the school with many speakers in every classes. I think 1978 probably. Someone broke into the headmasters and stole the amplifier. So that was the end of that because no amplifier was replaced after that and the whole PA system was finished. Now 100 years and we have 25 headmasters and the headmistresses combined. Now out of those 25 headmasters, if I ask you the question, which one headmaster would be the headmaster of that century that showed leadership, skills, lead by example, and was always pushing for education? Now, if you were not born in the 60s or if you didn't go to school in the 60s, and it all depends on the period you went to school. But for me, the high standard of the school was set by no other than J.G. Pudu. He was the foremost headmaster that really pushed the agenda there and tried to have the students excel. He was on top of everything. So that headmaster would say is the headmaster of the century. I mean, there were also many teachers too. And if I ask students across here who attended Kawall, like which teacher was the most outstanding teacher that had the teaching skills that produced results and always lead by example, etiquettes, mannerisms. And if I ask you that question, I mean, some of you are going to have different teachers, but my selection is going to be teacher Harry Narayan. He was one of the most prolific teachers I've ever seen, and he makes you understand the lesson very easily and simply. He interrelated like all subject areas. If one word come up and he could connect to other subjects, that's what he taught. And he was very strict and disciplined guy, no nonsense guy. You have to be punctual in class, and he worked for results. So that was one of the leading teachers, I would say, of that century. They are also very good. I mean, there are many top teachers vying for number 2, number 3, number 4 spot. You will have like many guys for the number 2 spot because there are guys like Teacher Gobin, Teacher Mata, Teacher Soman, Farouk Baksh. I mean, that's all the guys. You have like Doreen Mangal, Mrs. Hing, Hafiza Baksh, and Teacher Gulshan, also Teacher Kausila. Teacher Kausila. All these other teachers will be vying for number 2 spot. I mean, so I'm not going to be naming any guys after this, but there were many good teachers in the number 2 spot. And for the new generation teachers, I would say from what I've heard, Angeline Shipcharan is like one of the teachers there with good leadership qualities and doing a good job. I do not know the other teachers there, so I cannot comment on it, but they probably will be very good in their own ways. Now, inter-house sports was one of the biggest events in the school. You had many events there, 200 yards, 400 yards, and the biggest event of all was a mile run, where you will win a thermos flask. And in my time, I remember Gangaram and Uday, where they used to be fighting for that prize in that final race. That was one of the highlights of that thing. But you had 100 yards race, 200 yards, and later it became into 100 meters, 200 meters. One of the teachers that was essential like in setting up those markings was Teacher Soman. He actually knew it very well out of his heart by doing it over the years. So when I was there, he used to be in charge of that. And then now the ground is in so bad order that you cannot have any event there anymore, like of that nature. But there's less children. But in the big days, the inter-house athletic sports, Kawalls, Cropper, Parvatan, and Budu. Those were the 4 houses. But now I think there's only 3 houses left because there's less children. And they also had inter-house cricket in my time between the 4. It really promoted cricket. One of the teachers very influential in the cricket was Govind Prasad, who was actually in charge of cricket in his time. And yeah, Teacher Hari, Teacher Soman, Teacher Mato. All these guys I remember were very active there in the cricket. And then I had my little stint also when I was there. Now one thing to remember, I want to put down in history here, is that there was always rivalry between Kawall and Endeavour School, between cricket and athletics. And what would happen in the athletics is that the 2 schools really didn't care what position they got, but they used to be trying to win one another. And I have observed that there's a lot of cheating done in all these schools, like putting children to run 5-6 races, and you know, if you're a good runner, you'll be running like 10 races that day. And I always say that's madness, because why are you doing the children, like putting them in situations to do so many races for the day? So one year in 1984, I was put in charge of Kawall Primary School, and I selected my athletes, and every athlete could only do 3 races. And I stuck to my 3 races for students. In the end, Endeavour did win us. But one guy I remember, this guy from Banga Grandson, he was doing like, I would say 10-12 races. He was a very good runner. So I didn't understand the reason for overworking your students, put them into false races, and just to win. And with all of that happening, these schools, the 2 schools cannot beat Wales, they cannot beat Larry Trade. The only school they beat was Putuzi. So this rivalry between Kawall and Primary was unnecessary. And I said to myself in 1984, I'm not going to be doing that. The old things that the old teachers used to do, I need to stop it there. And I don't know if they continued to do that when I left, but that year was when Endeavour bought 1 Kawall in the athletics inter-house. And I didn't mind, because I knew our athletes did a wonderful job, because they ran their allotted races and we didn't lose by a lot of points. like about 12 points. So with all of that cheating, it didn't make a big difference. And it didn't make a difference if you win or lose. It's the way you perform in the sports, to be honest. And that was the message I was trying to get in that one time I was in charge. But the school used to produce good results in the time. They also had many events there, like athletics, cricket was big, and J.G. Budo actually pushed cricket. You know, you had the ground kittle trim, you had to go there and weed it with cutlass, and or you don't have Tana with a scythe come down there. So the ground was always very nice. The walkway to the school was not where it is right now. It was rubbish, and it had to be rolled every day, every morning. You see, the guy lived right across the road, so he had hands up on everything that was going on. He loved his gardening and flowers too. He had a magnificent botanical garden here, like all kinds of flowers in that yard. So in 100 years, what the school has achieved, produced many students. And if I ask you to name some top students, I will leave it up to you. I will not mention any student now because everyone has their favorite students. So consider each of you top students out there who passed through that school. And many of us have passed through there and went to high school. Some of them did not, but some people excel and went to universities around the world. So right now you have people from Kawall School around the world in different fields. I mean, everybody didn't make it to the top, but it depends on your ability and opportunity. That's how it was. Because very difficult to travel from Canal to go to town school because the roads were very bad, especially in the 60s. Like now, there's no excuse because everything is good. Most people used to walk to school. They didn't have no buses, cars to take you to school. You had to walk to school, and you had to walk barefoot. Wash your feet before you get into the school. That was the way it was. And boys always wear short pants up to from tree, no longer. That's how it was. I will not make a long video, so keep you bored. So with these few words here, I hope that this video, you like this video, and I had asked everyone to participate in the video, but nobody actually sent me any video, so I was very disappointed. But I tried to produce something so that it will mark the 100 years, and who knows, in another 100 years where we'll be. So for now, this is my second video on Kawall School. I mean third video, but the second one was detailed. So with those, I hope you enjoy watching it and continue to watch my videos on YouTube. I must thank you. You've been wonderful audiences out there from all parts of the world, and I really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much.